Chapter 34. Burning Flesh and Miss G. There was the smell of burning flesh. The first nostril didn't hurt that much because the doctor numbed my nose first, but the smell was awful. The second nostril was harder. I couldn't sit still. Everything smelled like sulfur. I wiggled around while Mom tried to hold my head still so the doctor could get her hand near my face again. She looked into that nostril with her scope. The doctor said, "We're going to have to use a different method on this side." She pulled out something that looked like a hot pair of tweezers. "You won't feel any pain," she said. I numbed it. It didn't matter what she said. I knew this one was going to hurt. She was going to burn my vein closed, in my nose. It took my mom yelling at me to get me to stop freaking out. "Oh, sit still now, right now." Mom didn't yell, ever. I sat still. It hurt. I felt the heat in my face and in my bones, and the smell was something I wouldn't be able to shake. And my nose bled right then, a real gusher. No one told me that would happen. The doctor said I was brave and gave me a popsicle, which was hard to eat because of the tissues around both my nostrils. "The bleeding should stop in 5 or 10 minutes," the doctor said. "Good," Mom said. "You'll make it to school today. Don't blow your nose too hard or do too much exercise or heavy lifting for about a week, okay?" the doctor said. "I'll make sure he doesn't." "Thank you so much," Mom said. They were so cheery. I just tried to eat the popsicle. On the way to school, I asked Mom what the meeting was like the night before. "Oh, it was nothing to write home about," she said. "Some hunters want to go and find the bear. Some other people want to find the vandals. They argued over whether the bear could be the vandal. The developer was there and said someone had been shooting his houses with some sort of paint. Paintballs, that's what that guy Doug told me. Anyway, people will figure out who to call about the bear. All of us agreed to keep you kids in sight until it's caught or whatever they'll do with it." I thought about the pictures I'd seen of bear traps. I didn't want Marvin getting caught in one of those. Even though I didn't have the pictures yet, I knew today was the day to tell Miss G about Marvin. I hoped she wouldn't think I was exaggerating or lying. I got to school in time for lunch. Right before science class, I found Tommy and Miss G talking low by her desk. Instead of sitting down, I walked right over them and said, "Stop telling people I melted your dumb sneakers. I didn't do anything." Miss G said, "Please sit down. Tommy and I were discussing something confidential." I glared at him. He didn't wink. He didn't smile. He didn't even seem like he was telling her about Marvin Gardens. He looked in trouble. "Sorry," I said. "Are you okay?" she asked. "I was at the doctor this morning," I said. "I'm a little weird today, I guess." I sat down. The rest of the class filtered in, and Tommy skulked away from Miss G's desk and sat down in his seat. I didn't know what I'd missed the day before, but it looked to me like Tommy had gone overboard like he did sometimes. You just couldn't control him in that class on account of his crush on Miss G. She called me to her desk after Tommy sat down. "I have makeup homework for you from yesterday," she said, and we watched a short documentary. She handed me a post-it note. "Here's the link so you can watch it at home. Thank you. You didn't miss too much. You'll see on my note what you have to read in the book to catch up." "Okay," I said. I kept standing there and the class was getting quiet behind me. "Do you, have time after class to talk to me about something?" I asked. "I have about 5 minutes, I guess. Otherwise, you can come to me at afternoon homeroom." "Okay, I'll see you after class." "Is everything all right?" she asked. "I'm not sure. It's hard to explain. I need your help," I said. I'd never said anything so perfect in my life. "I need your help" was the very best thing to say to Miss G, because she was the kind of teacher who would actually help. She smiled and said, "I'll see you later." We talked about air pollution in class. A human being breathes about 20,000 liters of air every day. Kids are more susceptible to air pollution because we breathe more and our bodies are smaller. Back in the old days, 1952, there was a thing called the Great Smog Disaster in London, England, and 4,000 people died in less than a week from smog. Smog is a highly concentrated form of pollution. These days, Beijing, China, has a smog concentration that's 12 times higher than the safe level, and people walk around in masks. More than 21 million people live in Beijing. That's a lot of masks. But smog is everywhere, really. New Delhi, India, Los Angeles, California, Mexico City, Mexico, New York City. Even little towns could be affected by smog. Ms. G told us about Donora, Pennsylvania, only 5 hours west of us, where 20 people died and more than 7,000 got sick from smog in 1948. That smog was chemical smog. A factory released some bad stuff and the weather held it in the air. A lot of other smog disasters, like the one in London in 1952, were caused by burning coal. The more I learned about pollution, the more humans looked dumb. I mean, if we knew we were poisoning the oceans, why didn't we stop? If people died because of smog, why didn't we stop filling the air with it? I was getting to the point in Earth Month where I wanted Earth Month to be over, so I didn't have to feel frustrated and sad all the time. After class, I felt like I was losing my nerve, but I knew I had to tell somebody about Marvin Gardens. Annie knew, but she couldn't help from her backyard. Telling Bernadette wasn't enough because she was 14 and wouldn't know what to do. I needed Miss G. I went up to the front of the classroom. "You're doing very well in my class, Obie," she said. "That's good," I said. "So what help do you need?" "I have a secret," I said. She just looked at me. I found something that I don't know what to do with." She looked alarmed. She said, "Should I call the principal?" "No!" "Did you find it in school?" "I should start over. I don't quite know how to explain this without looking crazy, like those people who say they saw Bigfoot." "I believe in Bigfoot," she said. She smiled wide. This changed everything. I let out a big breath and just said it. "You know I live over by Devlin Creek, right? So 2 weeks ago I found this animal, and it's not like any other animal that ever lived before. It eats plastic, only plastic, like plastic bottles and yogurt containers and shopping bags and pretty much anything as long as it's plastic." "Go on," she said. "So I don't know what to do about it." "What do you want to do?" "Well, the other kids who live there now, my family's field got turned into a development. Those kids have seen it. Tommy, really. Tommy saw the animal, and now he and his friends are trying to kill it." "Kill it? Why would they want to kill it?" I shrugged. "The adults had a meeting last night at the fire company. They think there's a bear on the loose, but it's not a bear, it's this animal. He's not dangerous, but there are hunters in the neighborhood who want to kill him too." "Seems a bit rash," she said. "Humans are scared of things they don't like, when a kid doesn't wear the right kind of sneakers, so they make fun of him." Miss G frowned and put her finger to her lips like she was figuring out a puzzle. She said, "Are you being bullied?" "No, not really." "Not really?" "I wanted to talk to you about the animal. You're a scientist. I'm just a kid. I don't know what to do about him. He really does eat plastic. Maybe he could be the solution or something to the pollution problem." "He?" "The animal is a he. You know." I blushed then. "He lives in your creek." "He wanders up there, but he lives somewhere else," I said. "I found his den yesterday. I know more, but I don't want to tell anybody in case I get in trouble. I couldn't tell my parents about the animal because I don't think they'd believe me. But if you believe in Bigfoot, then maybe you might be able to help us." "Why would you get in trouble?" she asked. "So what do?" I said. "Do I call somebody like a game warden or something? I looked them up on the internet, and mostly it says they sell hunting licenses." "I don't know," Miss G said. "I'm going to have to think about it." Kids started to come into the classroom. "I'm going to get a picture of him tonight. I'm taking my sister down to meet him. Just don't tell anybody, okay?" "I won't tell anyone," she said. "And if you want to talk more about kids being mean to other kids, you know you can come to me, right?" "It's really not about that," I said. "It's about the animal," she said. "I know."